Hey everyone, and welcome to my craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Apologies for everyone who tried to join me a few minutes ago. I actually had some horrible gunk on the camera of my phone, which wouldn't come off on my t-shirt. I tried to make it come off on my t-shirt, but it wouldn't. It was actually like white paint or something, so that wasn't allowing my camera to what's the word, focus properly. So hopefully that's a little bit better. So someone give me the thumbs up that that's a little bit better. I think it is, and we'll continue on with the video. I'm seeing it on my iPad there. It looks a little bit better. I may have to give it a proper clean once we finish the video. Anyway, okay, so I'm actually, as I mentioned, I'm on lunch break from our wonderful onstage event that we're having. It's an international training event for demonstrators with Stampin' Up, and we usually get some wonderful previews of upcoming products, which has been very exciting this year. We've had some lovely peeks at some products from the upcoming January to June mini catalogue or new catalogue, which is always very exciting, and some wonderful training as well about how to best help our customers, and spread the joy of stamping and Stampin' Up as far as we possibly can. But I thought I definitely had to come online and do a little video with you this weekend because you know, the world stops for no person, and I couldn't go a whole weekend without doing some crafting. So I was trolling through the my Pinterest inspiration and found, well, I'd done some of these before, but found particularly pretty twisting easel cards, which I thought I'd have a little bit of a go at. So I'm going to do two. So if you hang around till the end of the video, you'll see two. I'm doing one that you could use for a birthday, that sort of thing, a feminine birthday. And one that you can do for Christmas. We couldn't let Christmas go without giving it a mention at this time of year. But unfortunately in my family, before I get to Christmas, I've actually got 4 birthdays before now and Christmas. So I really can't concentrate too heavily on my Christmas before I get these birthdays out of the way. So for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to sit down now. Yeah, thanks. Welcome back, everybody. It's lovely to see you all coming on. Susan, thank you very much. I think it's a bit better, but you tell me. I'm going to have to give my phone a bit of a clean. It's got a bit dirty over the last few weeks. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, a twist easel card is basically you start with a square card base, and you basically just score. This is the front of the card. You score it diagonally from one corner down to diagonally across, so starting in at the seam and going back down. And the way the card actually sits when you when it's on display is the easel part is that kicks up like that, so you get this triangle front facing surface. So this is obviously the ground, the mantelpiece or the ground or whatever here, and it sits up like that. So we put a little an easel stop here so that it stays on display like that. So I'm going to start with my birthday one, then I'll show you a very pretty Christmas one that I cased or copied from the talented Gail Ellis, and then I'll show you my version of it last of all, so please hang around to the end. So this is obviously the first one. I'm going to be using the beautiful prized Peony stamp set for my birthday ones. This is going to be for my mum, who loves her garden and loves her flowers. So since we're coming into, or in spring at the moment, the flowers in my mum's garden are just lovely. So I'm going to think she'll really like this one. So I'm going to start with, now this is a smoky slate card base, and the size can be anything you like, but you first have to decide what you want your footprint, or what you want your folded card to be. So this is a 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, which is a funny size, I know, but I'll explain in a minute why I made it that. So when it's flat, it's going to have to fit into an envelope like that. So when it stands up,
it's going to be like that. So you could go up to 5, 5.5, even to 6 if you have 30 by 30 cardstock. But so yeah, you could go as high as 6, and then it's going to sit up so pretty like that. It's quite a feature. But anyway, so you've got basically, as I say, I've got a 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 card base with the score along like that. So then what we're going to do is sort of layer that up. So I've got, of course, if you've got smoky slate, you have to have petal pink. So I've got a square piece of petal pink that is 1/4 inch smaller. So there, and the same size piece of petal pink that I have cut diagonally. Oh, it's a bit dirty. That I've cut diagonally across. See, so there, that's that size, but it's cut diagonally across. And I'm going to use these to decorate the triangular surfaces of my card. I'm not going to use that side because it's quite filthy. So like that there. Okay. So when I put this together, hopefully it'll all make sense. I don't know why I got my Stamparatus there. I just wanted to have something to focus on when we started off. So, okay, so we've got our triangles, which are going to go here and here. And I've also got 2 triangular pieces of the plush vellum specialty paper. Now this is one that's in the current mini catalogue. It's meant for Christmases, and it is glorious, but if you pop it over the petal pink, and hopefully you can see this, it just takes up the colour of the cardstock that you pop underneath it, and it's just sort of really, really beautiful. It sort of softens the white and it brings the petal pink through. So the tone on tone for this one is absolutely glorious. I'm on my 2nd or 3rd packet of it, and I featured it in a couple of my classes by mail, and they've been very, 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 very popular. And as I always say, it just feels to touch. It's just very, 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 very sumptuous. There's a good word for a Saturday, sumptuous. Anyway, so that's what I've got cut there. I then have a piece of Whisper White, and this is for our base again, and it is cut another 1/4 inch smaller than our petal pink, and that's going to pop in there. And then I've got other various bits and bobs, but I'll bring them in a minute. So we might as well we'll layer this up and get the decorating started. So don't worry, I will pop the what's the word? The instructions, the measurements in the comments after. May not be straight after because I've got to go back into our on-stage sessions this afternoon. But eventually at some stage over the weekend I will get the measurements uploaded for you. So there, first of all, we've got our petal pink layer for our base, and then our Whisper White. So as I say, this is going to be for my gardening mum, whose birthday is at the end of the month. And I have also my beautiful sister, but she's 6 years younger than me, so she's not quite into these classics. So I'll do her something a bit different, maybe with the cocktails. She's a very cocktail girl, loves a good get together with friends. Love her to pieces. She's very different to me. She's quite outgoing. And now I've got our triangles. Isn't it funny how you can have the same parents, the same mum, the same dad, and same genetics, and be very, very different people? She's very outgoing and I'm quite reserved. I wonder if we've all got a sister or a brother who's like that, just the opposite to us. Is Elizabeth watching? Elizabeth, you've got brothers and things. Are they very different to you? I know they're a very loving family. My friend Elizabeth came down to watch on stage with me yesterday. We had fun, didn't we? And Margie, did I see Margie on? Margie zoomed in from her home in New South Wales. We had all 3 of us there at one stage, remotely anyway. Okay, so there's the top and the bottom with our triangles. Now when you're gluing the triangles, take your glue as much as you can right into the sharp corners, because otherwise they will flick up somewhat. Okay, so that's those. And I'm going to bring in our vellum. So I'm going to not use glue on the vellum, I'm going to use double-sided tape. I think I like the double-sided tape better. Oops, sorry, I've moved myself around. I like the double-sided tape better because it doesn't quite show through as much. So I'm going to pop the double-sided tape as far up into the corners as I can. I might actually cut it with my scissors into a, take my glasses off, glasses on, cut it into a, and hopefully I'm staying under there because, as I say, I've changed my setup because of being signed into OnStage. And then I'll put that one right up into the corner. So you could obviously use glue with that, but as I say, I sort of like the double-sided tape with the vellums because it doesn't show through as much. You can see I've got the double-sided tape. I'll just find where my camera is there on the back. So I'll just lift the edges. So who of us is actually in signing into OnStage? Have I got very many demonstrators watching? I assume I have. I can see some familiar names. I know Michelle. Hello, my friend Michelle from the sunny northwest. Yes, so are you enjoying it? It's been very good so far. Learning lots, hopefully to put it into practice. Your two sisters are very different to you, Margie. Well, I can't imagine that they would be as wonderful. I'm sure they are, but I'm sure you would still be my favourite. Oh, sorry, you're seeing the top of my head there while I put that stuff on. Not necessarily a good thing to see. Sorry, this is taking a bit of time. I probably should have done it beforehand, but anyway. Okay, so the last lot there. May have been quicker just to use the glue, maybe. Oh well. If we wanted quick cards, we'd just go and buy them, wouldn't we? So I'm going to pop that on there. Well, you have enough. Margie's saying she's the only artistic one of her sisters. Well, you have enough for all three of you, I'm sure. Some of the stuff you do is glorious. Okay, so there is our card base decorated. To be honest, you look at it that way, it looks like a normal sort of card, except for the fact you've got it scored in the middle, and it's eventually going to sit up like that. Okay, so sorry, I've gone a bit high now. High or low? You change your your setup, and it takes ages to get used to it again. Okay, so let's get on with the fun bit, and we'll bring in this Poinsettia Peony stamp set. So the beautiful focal flower of the peony, and this is why I had my Stamparatus out, is such a big and beautiful flower. And if you haven't seen this one, I've got a few videos I've used over the time. I might turn that sideways. Just so big and beautiful. You have to bring in this incredibly large block to actually get it onto. It's just too big for the others, and it's a little bit small. It's like a pimple on a pumpkin for that one. But I find it works very well with my Stamparatus, so I'm going to use my Stamparatus for this. So I'm just going to we're going to be die cutting, so I'm just going to bring in a scrap of Whisper White that hasn't got die cuts out of the end of it. If that's right, if that's big enough. Yep. Bring in my Stamparatus, some magnets to keep it down. I'm going to stamp this in the smoky slate, so that's going to match our card base there. So hopefully you can see that. So you stamp it with your smoky slate and then down. So honestly, the Stamparatus is the best for precision stamping. So that's gone quite well there. I'm quite happy with that. But if I'd missed a patch, you can go in again and then stamp over, and you can be satisfied that you are going into the same place. So I don't know if you can see that. That's come out quite dark, the second stamping, which is really, really nice. Okay, so there we are. So that's that one. I will then die cut that, but I won't make you watch that. So I've got a die cut one already with that beautiful die set with the peonies. So I'll just pop that aside for a second. So I've got my peony. Forgive my paper's moved a little bit. Line it
So there's my beautiful peony. So what I'm going to do is get my peony and pop him on the front. He really is the focal point of this card. And what you can do, you imagine when it's flat, the peony is going to sit like that, and then when you fold it up, he's going to poke over the edge like that. So when I'm going to pop him on dimensionals, we're only going to put dimensionals on this half, on the lower half of the circle, of the get my shapes right in a minute, triangle. See here. So I'll get some dimensionals, maybe just some little ones. Oh, little ones, yes. And I'm going to pop them on what I just decided was the lower half of the peony. I'm going to bring some bling in a minute. I haven't put any ribbon with this one. I was lacking inspiration this morning. Too busy thinking of all the wonderful things I'd learnt in On Stage to think about ribbon. Yes, we had a lovely session yesterday. Elizabeth, who lives near me and is part of my Chatty Stampers team, as well as being my dearest friend, came down, and we crafted together during the live crafting session. And the lady was incredibly fast, so we struggled to keep up with her, didn't we, Elizabeth? And my dear friend Elizabeth, who wouldn't mind me saying she is somewhat of a perfectionist when it comes to her card making. I think she was struggling because this lady was going on to the next part of the card, or even the next card, before we actually even finished what we were doing. So there we go. So as you can see, I've got that free on the back there, so there's no adhesive on the back there, just the front. Okay, so what do we think of that? So that's going to sit up, and I just want to make sure it's right in the camera for you. That's going to sit up on your mantelpiece or whatever, just like that, which is quite nice. Okay, so down here we need our little like easel stopping thing that's going to stop our easel from falling over. And I've got some circles. I've got a scalloped circle in the petal pink, and another one that's the corresponding plain circle in Whisper White. So I'm going to pop that. You don't think you'll ever... No, I don't think you'll ever be that quick either, as much as we try. But that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Okay, so I did have another little peony stamped, but he's gone missing. Got so much stuff over here out of camera for the next card that you guys can't see, that I'll have to do him again and stamp him again. So what I'm going to do is pop that little sentiment box there. I'm not actually going, even though that's perfect for a sentiment, I'm not actually going to put a sentiment on it, which may sound weird, but oh, there it is. Hopefully you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I have one of the other little peonies from the set stamped, so just this tiny little one here, and I've stamped that in the smoky slate as well, and die cut it, so it's going to be on here as well. So I'm just putting glue on our little Whisper White circle, and then I'm going to glue that directly to our base, just there, just like that. So that's going to be a slight stop for our easel so it doesn't fall over. Then this other little peony that I've done, that I've stamped and die cut, I'm going to pop him on dimensionals next to it, just slightly overlapping. So a couple of big ones on there because it hasn't got the fiddly shapes of the big peony. Oh. Come on. Oh. I'm just going to pop that off to the side of our, or just sort of slightly off
the side, maybe at the top. I didn't actually quite get this far, so I'm not quite sure what I was going. I knew what I had in mind. No, I think that way. So that way, sort of slightly off and slightly on our little circle, just like that. And that height stops our easel from falling forward really well. Okay, so I haven't got a sentiment in there yet. And for my mum, I don't think any of them as beautiful as they are, I don't think they're appropriate. Sorry for your loss, no. Our friendship, no. Well, she is my friend, but she's also my mum, but she's not my friend. And my thoughts are with you. It's probably a little bit more for what's the word? Sympathy card. So what I'm going to do is pop the sentiment up in here. So when the card is on display, the sentiment is sort of hidden under that little tent or that little triangle. Okay, so when I do it, I will bring it in there, but I probably won't do it at the moment. I will just bring in the bling. So I've got the beautiful that go with the Peony suite, the elegant faceted gems, and you can tell I've been going through them quite a bit. I'm right down to that. I have another packet there, but I'd like to use these first. And I'm just going to go these beautiful sort of translucent ones. And I'll make sure I'm in camera. Apologies, guys. Tricky changing my setup. Probably shouldn't have done it. And so I was just getting used to the other one, the other way. So I'm going to pop some of these just for a little bit of bling, just onto that vellum, just like that. So subtle you'd probably miss it really. And I'm going to put another one down here on this little sentiment circle as well, or maybe a couple. Okay, so that is my Peony Garden twist easel card. So fits into a square envelope like that, and then when you slip it up, it sits up like that. So that's one for my mum. And it is, as Judy said, it is so easy, just so easy, and it doesn't use a huge amount of cardstock just to get that bit of a special effect. You know, it's basically just a plain square card, but it's just that little bit special. Okay, so that's our birthday one out of the way. Hopefully you guys are still hanging with me, and we'll do our Christmas one next. So when I finished that designing that one, I went back onto Pinterest, which is my, as you know, my favourite place for inspiration, and I found this one that was done, as I mentioned, by the very, very, very talented Gail Ellis. I think it's Blue Treasure Crafts. I think her company name is, or her site name is. And so this is just glorious, don't you think? It's balmy blue. The highlight colour is balmy blue, so blue layer there. She's got the vellum again, which is the beautiful plush specialty paper, and she's used, and don't moan, please don't moan, the poinsettia dies, which is probably what attracted me to it in the first place. And again, this little circle here, I haven't got a sentiment in there at the moment, this little circle here acts as a stop, just to stop it from falling forward. So I think that is basically, in the silver and the blue, just perfect. So as I do with normal when I'm trolling through Pinterest and stealing ideas, I do one first that's basically the same as the one that I've seen, and then I'll mix it up or change it for my next one. So my next one, I'm going to go away from the blue and silver, and I'm going to concentrate on red and gold, which is very similar to some of the cards I've been doing lately, and my last card kits were also red and gold. So I'm sticking to that theme. So, and I've changed some of the embellishments as well, and some of the layers. So again, and I might show you this, I've got my card base, you just normal square card base, and this one is 5 by 5. So the whole piece of paper is 10 inches by 5 inches, and I've scored it at half. I'm going to bring my trimmer back in and show you where to score. Where's my trimmer gone? Oh, here it is, under my jumper. Okay, so I've got my beautiful, wonderful, so love it trimmer. So there's my card base. So you decide where you want the bottom of your card. So that's the bottom. Let's call this one the bottom of the card, or, you know, yep. And you score from the bottom seam up to the top corner. So from the bottom seam to the top corner. And making sure I don't use my cutting blade, just my scoring blade. That is the only thing you need to do. Just score that. And there again we have our beautiful easel design, which we should call our easy easel design. There we are. So that folds flat into a 5 by 5, so I can pop it in a 5 by 5 5 by 5 envelope, or you know what, close there too, and it sets up like that. Okay, so bring in our other bits, and you can watch me go through this again, please do. So I've got real red, so to go with my black, I've got real red layers. So this is 5 by 5, so this would be 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and the white will be 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. Our triangles that we want for the outside are also in real red, and that would start off as a 4 3/4 square, and I've just cut those in half. So then we go, those are going to sit there and there. And I'm going to come back in with our vellum, our plush vellum again, because I absolutely love it over the top of coloured cardstock. This time I've used the one that actually has the poinsettias on it, so that's definitely for this theme. And that would have started off life as a 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 inch square, and I have just cut that diagonally as well. So you can see with this one, it brings through the red, and you still see the beautiful poinsettias. So what we might do is do the same that we did with our first card, and I will actually just glue everything down so I can get rid of some of the bits on my desk. And how long have we got to go till we go back? Not long, 10 minutes till we go back to the next session. So I'll have to be quick, won't I? Haven't had my lunch yet. I have to lunch and watch at the same time. Trouble is with on stage at home, and obviously due to the pandemic we can't meet in person as we have in previous years. The trouble is the at home part. On stage is all well and good, but I am still at home. So there are still home things to be done. There's still washing to do, and there's still shopping to do, and meals to cook, which is a bit of a downer, but hopefully maybe not next year, the year after, we'll be back together again. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, it's been fun. Okay, so we've got our triangles there. One doesn't want to line up. Yeah. Just make sure that's straight. Can't quite see that angle. Okay, so there's our red triangles. I'm going to just glue this one because I don't want you guys to have to sit there and watch me with the double-sided tape again. But if I do this one with glue, you'll see what I mean about seeing it through. I suppose it would change. It would change when it dries. I don't know. I'll bring the other one back in and see. But you can actually see a slight discoloration where the glue comes through. Not makes it more translucent than it the rest. That one there, and then this one. And there is our card base there. I think this one's going to be quite striking. Let's have a look at this and see whether the, yeah, so I don't know if you can see, I'll bring it right up to my camera. Right up to my camera. This one I've glued. I'll stand and make sure you can. This one I've glued, and you can actually see a slight line of glue there, which you will not see with the double-sided tape. The double-sided tape is invisible. Okay, so it's your choice. If that doesn't worry you, then go with the glue. But if you want invisible under the vellum, go with the double-sided tape or glue dots or something like that. Okay, so back to this one. I'll pop that aside now, and we'll bring in our poinsettias. So what I have here is a vellum layered, I've lost the name, I should know it off the heart, ornate layer. So from the Ornate Layers die set, I've used this particular one here, and I've cut it out of vellum, and that's going to back my poinsettias on my card. Then I have my actual poinsettias. So I've got the 3 there cut from the die set, and I'm just going to give them my usual slight fold along their vein. Sydney 2021, let's go, Margie. Paint the town red like we did last year. If I can, you know, that would be so cool. Okay, so I've got those 3 folded. So I might actually glue those together now. So just a touch of glue in the middle of the big one. Somebody's walking past my front room with quite a loud voice. That's all right. And this one. Stay on there, guys. Okay, so that's it. I'm just using the 3 layers there, not bringing in the little one in the middle, but just the 3 layers of that pretty thing. So what I'm going to do is bring my card back. I'm going to lay my my ornate box, ornate layer across the card like that, so that when it flips up, it points up. It sort of sticks up like that. If you see, or I thought maybe that way. No, definitely that way. So I'm going to attach that to my vellum, just like that. And this time I will use double-sided tape, just because it's just a couple of quick bits. Even just one. I'm just going to use one piece of double-sided tape. And pop that on there. So you get that. So that's what I'm going to use as the base for my poinsettia there. So it's sort of, it's going to be quite a feature in itself with that beautiful floral sort of backing there. So I might pop my poinsettia on now. Just on the downside of that, so it actually attaches to the card base rather than the poinsettia. Hey Susan. Okay, so that's our poinsettia. It looks a little bit plain there now, so we'll bring in some bling. So I've got in gold, I told you there was some gold here. I've got the leaves from the die set, and I'll just give those a curl. And I've got some of these little sprays of berries or buds or whatever they would be, and I've got those in gold as well. So I'll bring those in. So just a tiny bit of glue on the back and just up under our leaves, and you guys have watched me do this on a number of occasions already.
So when you're decorating, make sure you don't go over the edge here, because you still want it, even though it's going to sit up like that, you still want it to be able to fit into your envelope without it overlapping the edge too far. And I'll bring in my little sprigs. Might cut that there and use it elsewhere. Yeah, that one. Oh, sorry, I've gone way up top. Apologies there. I'll bring myself down a bit. And that one as well. Here we are. And waste not, want not, I'll bring these little bits in as well. So just trim off the ends. I know what it is. I haven't got my cutting mat underneath. That's why my paper is moving. Because usually I have a cutting mat under there, don't I? It keeps things from wiggling around. I might actually bring, and I'll do it off camera, I won't make you watch me now, I might bring in, get another leaf, I think, and pop it up here. It looks a bit bare up there. And just this one, just poking its head out there. Yeah, definitely needs another leaf. So I'm going to pop another one there, but you'll see the pictures when I put the pictures on my page. Okay, so we've got that one. Then I'm going to do the same and bring our little, yes, you're very right, Margie. I'm glad you agree with me. Okay, so where's some gold? I might do it now. I've got some gold here. And where's the dies? I'll do it now. I'll just use the little one. I'll just get the little leaf out. So that's how they are. You can see there's a separate, there's the butt that does the cutting, and then this little one sits in the middle, and that does the embossing. So I won't bring my machine in, just bear with me. Take my gold. Just talk amongst yourselves. Sing you a song. Maybe not. There we go. Okay, so one more gold leaf here. I'll give that a bit of a thingy, bit of a bend. Yeah, pop that in there, and I bet you that's going to make all the difference. Yes. There we are. How's that? Definitely makes all the difference with that extra gold leaf. There we are. Okay, so back to our little easel stopper. Put that out of the way. So pop the, definitely going to have to bring a mat in. This moving is driving me crazy. So bring in glue and white. And so this is a little, the same serrated. Circle with, but this time in gold, and then our normal and the other white circle as well. So he's going to pop in just there, just with some glue. And this time I'm going to do the same as I did in Gail's version. I'm going to bring in the beautiful, these are the little insides of the poinsettia die. So I've got two of them cut, and this time I've cut them out of the red velvet, which I haven't got any left of because everyone's been so keen on my November card class. I ran out of red velvet and had to borrow some more. So that basically is the last of the red velvet that I have in my whole craft room, so I've used it for this. So I'm going to glue those together into the one flower. Just like that. And pop him, actually I've got another one of these little sprays of berries just in plain white. So I'm going to pop that, just as the same as the original, pop that on there, and then just overlapping our circle a little bit, and then pop the little, doesn't want to stick. What's Sue saying? Did you use velvet for I'm assuming that means big poinsettia. No, sorry, I didn't, Sue. That's just normal real red cardstock. Sorry, I should have said that before, guys. Yeah, so that's the red velvet for the little one, and the big one is just the normal real red cardstock. Only because, as I say, my class was so popular I haven't got any left. So I'm going to just put that little one there, and I'm going to grab a glue dot, a dimensional, and pop our little one just there, and that'll keep that little spray in place as well, and that stops our card from falling over, just like that. Okay, actually I don't like him there. She says I'm going to bring him in a little bit into the circle a little bit more. There we are, that's better. Okay, so that is, oh, missing one important thing, bling. Okay, so that's most of that card made. As you see with Gail's, with my version of Gail's, I've got the little pearl, gilded pearls or silver pearls on the inside there, which are absolutely beautiful with the poinsettia. But I thought with this one I would use, and hopefully I can put my hands on them quickly. With this one I thought I'd use a gold gilded gem just for a little bit, something a little bit different. Just a large one in the centre there, just to keep the gold theme happening. Just like that. And then maybe some of the smaller ones just around the edge. Just to continue that gold a little bit. And one in the centre of our little red velvet poinsettia in the middle there. Okay, so that one is done. Oh, that paper is annoying me. I'm going to have to get rid of it. That's the red. That's the last of. That's the end of that one. I'll bring it over. I've been doing everything sort of top right-hand corner, haven't I? So fold it over in your envelope. It looks basically like that, and then on display it looks like that one. Okay, so hopefully you like that one and you'll give that a go. I'd love to see what you come up with on my Facebook page. If you'd love to, I'd love to see everyone's creations, Christmas cards, birthday cards, everything. So as I say, that is my gold and red version of the beautiful blue and silver version from Gail Ellis, her page. And there is my birthday one for my mum, which will be very soon. Who'd have a birthday in November? That's just wrong. Anyway, all good. So hopefully you enjoyed those. I'm going to sign off now, grab a quick lunch and sign back on stage. If you've got any questions about any of these products, if you haven't got an active demonstrator, you'd like a catalogue, just to say hi, please drop me a message and I'd be happy to get back to you. This really is the best company and the best products, but you know, I'm a little bit biased. So thanks a lot, guys, and I will talk to you during the week. Okay, bye.